Oh. Hello, Richard.
Hello, hello.
How are we today?
Excited. Very happy.
The energy, I love it. Well, I know there's a couple of people are coming soon, but you know what? We're just gonna get started. How's that sound?
Sure. Let's start.
So this event is streamed live to Facebook. So Sacred Heart Valley Facebook, just to let you know. So yeah. And this is the second time that you join us, and welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah. So today, I know that this is going to be I know that last week we talked about this heart to heart going to be repeating in a way that every week. And the purpose of that is just to express the truth, express using our voice and sort of like practicing if you're not, or there's other people who join as well. But the thing is like, there's a lot of things that we learned. Then whether we be able to express it out, there's another is another way of learning too. You're taking in, you need to take it out, like digest, right? So in a way that you share the ideas, share experience, share journey is really important for other people to hear too. Because you're not only because you don't know that some people's journeys, my journey is that I'm just gonna talk about me. So my journey can be a healing for somebody else. And by sharing my voice to somebody else or just to talk, to express, and I receive healing myself.
So can I ask you a question on that?
Of course.
What feels significant as far as what to share? For example, if I tell you about what I ate for lunch, probably doesn't have a lot to do with your journey. And if I share it or don't share it, it probably isn't very important. If I talk to you about something else that's significant and change, I guess my point is it something that needs to be what changes, what feels like it's life changing, or like in what way significant? How do you, what should be talked about? What would be helpful to others? What kinds of things?
Okay, so you're bringing that. So I know that we're going to talk about the topic today, but you're bringing that just the food, right? I love food. So with the food, you have so many conversations about the food culture. I miss the food from home. And where is home? My grandma used to cook that. My mom used to cook that. I really miss that. And then you bring into your childhood. You bring into, oh my God, I haven't had that. I remember that's where it's coming in. Just for the food. The food plays such an important role. Yeah. Right? You don't know where it's landed. So, or incorporate in a daily life. It's not about I'm spiritual, that's it, and I'm going to work. No, together. So yeah, we're merging together. We don't want to have separation. So yeah. Because when you have this mindset and you kind of personal development mindset and incorporate with your meditation, your journey, your experience, you seeing, feeling, sensing, you talk to your colleague, they may not know what you're talking about. But it is okay. Some people may not be, I was there before, but no judgment, but just so interesting what you're sharing. But you know what? After a longer year, I remember Richard talk about that. I connect with you straight away, which has happened to me and Polly, me and my friend. May not be now, but later on, you don't know. You look back. That's the magic. So,
well said.
Welcome, Rosa. You made it. So yeah, we just connect Rosa for like 1.5 hours. I hope and stop talking.
Yes, I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Yeah, so Rosa also the first time here, so she doesn't know what's happening in this chat, but this chat is very flowy. So like, come back, and I have like Heidi coming. We'll have so many. As well as your team members are all joining. So Heidi is coming in as well. So
yeah, she's connecting. Yeah, and Norma, I sent a link to Norma, so hopefully she logs
in. So we all have new people here. I'm so excited. So I am going to pass the mic to Kyle. So that he will bring into the conversation today. So in here, we talk everything. And disclaimer is your journey is your journey. What you learn, you take it when you feel alignment. If you don't, just leave it. Because everybody has their own path and we honor it. Everybody's path. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Over to you now, Kyle.
Thank you, Lillian. Thank you, everyone, for being here. So before we begin our heart-to-heart connection today, we're just going to call in just the highest and the purest frequencies to be with us, and just supportive, nurturing, loving energy to be with us. And then let us just drop from our head space to our heart space, do those 3 deep breaths as we connect to our hearts as one. And today's topic is about balance. So balancing, as we all have masculine and feminine energies within us. So just balancing those 2 energies and bringing them into alignment for self-care, self-nurturance, and self-love, and fully being embodied within our body, like fully being present in the present moment. And it's like blending the like the spiritual and our inspiration to the practical and in the realness of this world. So we're able to fully live our heart-filled, joy-filled life, fully grounded in here, right now. Yes. So might as well just start talking. So, so from my experience of my whole processing with bringing the whole spiritual to the physical in alignment with the embodiment, for the longest time, I think being in that more creative and nurturing side, and more of that, like the feminine flow of like receiving, connecting with my art, connecting with nature. Yeah, there's so much energy concentrated on like the feminine side energy, which I loved. It was so comforting to me. But it was like I was feeling like something was missing within me, that I'm like, okay, like I know I have like that masculine energy within, but I was terrified of it because of my experiences with like the males in my life, the masculine energies in my life. So it wasn't in the support that I so like wanted. It wasn't as nurturing as the feminine has been in my life, with like my upbringing, with like I was raised by like mostly the feminine, my mom, my grandmother, and my mom's friends, and all of that. So I didn't have that balance within my life for a long time. Yeah, and then now recently, when I connected with the Sacred Heart Valley, it was like that full remembrance of like healing the heart, allowing the heart to fully open with the support of the feminine within the Sacred Heart Valley. And I needed that nurturance, that deeper richness that the feminine provided within the sacred space. So as I processed everything, felt everything, let it go, integrated and embodied, I felt more home, and that remembrance kept returning. Just remembering my deeper connection to nature, working with like the goddesses archetypes have always been that supportive part, but didn't know that that's what was taking place until recently. And now it's like life has become so much more magical. But it's like real, real. I think for the longest time, I was kind of disassociating from my body of my emotions and traumas, triggers, and energy surrounding, like just masculine energy in general from everything that I've been through. So I would just like leave my body and just journey, and would just like meditate, and just would constantly want to be up in like the ethers and the universe and all of that. And that was my coping to get through. So for doing that for like many years, my physical body was trying to call me back home to my body. So in my processing, I would like trip or fall and didn't realize like what that was, why that was happening. So then I learned that the importance of grounding, like being in your body. And for the longest time, I denied wanting to be in my body. I'm like, but it's so magical up here. Like, this is my inspiration. This is where all my creativity comes in. This is where I feel most connected. And then once I received like the tools and the help to like help me supporting grounding, it was like things were connecting so fast and things were aligning, because I would question for the longest time. I'd be like, why aren't things aligning? Why aren't things happening? And it was like all waiting for me to be grounded within my body. And when I did become more grounded in my body, it was like this feeling of like all these sensations, like my body was like shaking. I was feeling like these tingles and that. And I was just like, why am I feeling all this stuff? But it was like fully feeling my body again. So that took me like a good like 5 months to just learn like coping, being in a body, tools of like deep breathing, grounding. Like, yeah, it was a journey. But then it's like my connection to nature just became much more richer and deeper. As being grounded, I could fully feel the energy of nature, and I could hear more clearly. So it was just like, almost it was like I got a second take on life. And yeah, within the Sacred Heart Valley, it was like that whole gateway of me letting go of like traumas and putting like the past to rest, and being in that present moment. So I was able to reflect on the past, but not fully feel the pull as much as I have been feeling it up until February. So with everyone's help and Lillian's help, she's been such a great support and anchor for me, that I needed the feminine to help me arise, to like help me become a better man. I was wanting like deeper connection with the feminine, because I would connect, like all my friends are mostly like females and like love it and cherish it and fully accept it. But I'm like, and I love having deep conversations, but I'm like, it was great, but I'm like, I wanted something deeper than what I was experiencing. And I fully received that within the Sacred Heart Valley. And like since February, I've like talked so much with everyone in the Sacred Heart Valley, and it's just been so amazing to be acknowledged, to be seen, to be witnessed, to be heard, to be felt, and like to for the feminine to receive my heart love and to receive that heart love from the feminine. So now it's like fully bringing into that the masculine energy of like groundedness, being that protector, that empowerment, holding space for the feminine and the masculine, but holding space for the feminine has been really prominent for me, as that's like been my pillar and anchor. So that's like what I know. So yeah, so it's just been this incredible journey of the heart of remembrance, just remembering like the love, the light, all the magic that we hold within. And for a while, I was just seeking on the outside of me until the Sacred Heart Valley arrived and just started really finding everything within and unlocking those treasures each and every day and those aha moments and realizing that everything connects. Every looking back, it's like everything has connected so beautifully that now it's like I feel that I can just kind of be more at ease and to kind of just relax more and enjoy all the gifts and blessings that are surrounding me and in my physical space and experience, and through that extension with everyone within the Sacred Heart Valley. So it's just amazing to fully receive my soul family and just very grateful, thankful, and blessed. And this is just the beginning. So I'm just so excited for all that's in store. So that's my story. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Carl, for sharing. Like you're using like what 20 minutes to share your 5 months stories. Amazing. Of course, there's more, right? But it's just a summary of it. So yeah. So I wanted to ask questions as in general in this container here. Does anyone know what is masculinity means? And anyone know what is femininity means? So we can dive into a very like the basics to start with, because I again like Heidi and Rosa. I know Rosa, but the thing is that today is the first time that we talk about this topic. I am sure that where is the understanding from that, because if you don't understand where it's coming from, like you might think we wanted to bring you to the conversation as well, or sharing, or even though listening. And yeah, so also Richard, do you want to share about what there's no right or wrong about it, but I just wanted to open up the field talking about what masculinity means to you and also femininity. And I know that you brought us such a huge knowledge last week, and I'd love to know more.
I apologize. My mind's kind of blank as far as coming into the conversation here. I mean, like I mentioned last week, I'm a very logical person, and I mean the words masculine and feminine have meaning, and I see areas that tendencies towards both sides. In my logical mind, women are feminine, men are masculine. And I know that's not, the more I learn, that tends to not have much to do with anything. We manifest here, we come into this life, we have these bodies and these experiences and roles that we play, and all the experiences that we have give us the ability to choose how to respond to things, and there's a whole spectrum of how we can respond and interact with things, and we have all of our emotions and feelings and senses, and so to be honest, I don't really, I'm not expert in this. I just have my observations. And what I do know is we need to become more balanced. We need to become well-rounded. We need to have a lot of experiences. And as we focus just on one thing, that's great that we can become expert in one thing. There's a lot more to do. And so.
So what is your observation? Just one. Just one. Because you say you observe, right? So what is your observation? Just one thing that is like really coming out to you right now. Like what is that really? So yeah.
No, I actually I don't have one. It's just broad.
Oh.
It's the balance. It's that. So I see grass growing. So I've got this little imagined picture of a green lawn of grass, and each blade of grass is some area of progress that we need to work on. And it might not be growing, or it might grow up. Okay, now that I think about this, it's a really bad analogy because you come along with the lawnmower and you cut it all up. And this doesn't really apply, but just imagine that I'm imagining these lines that are just kind of like from 0 to master. Okay, 100% might be, in some area, we become a master in something that we practiced and we worked on. But you know what? Sometimes we have to see it from a different angle, a different perspective, and maybe there's there's the grass, there's the blades of grass alongside of it or something, and there's this whole lawn, this whole yard of blades of grass. There's millions and billions of areas that we need to experience and work on and grow. Some of them were pretty low. Yeah, this grass thing is probably a bad analogy, but I still see
bring into the grass.
Yeah. How am I doing in this one area? How am I doing in this area? How am I doing in this area? So masculine and feminine, I could, to be honest, I'm kind of a blank slate here. I don't know, because I could ask the question like, in different roles that we play, like, I'm a teacher and I'm a student. I'm a mother, I'm a father, or I'm a parent, or I'm a child, or grandchild. We put on these different hats for different roles that we wear, different hats. We wear different hats for different roles that we play. And I think we have to experience everything from all sides, and we need to see how others experience those things as well. So to me, the whole story of masculine and feminine just opens up, well, as a very logical thinker, when I talk to my girlfriend, I don't understand how her mind works. And there's a masculine, there's differences in how I process information and how she processes information. And there's big differences. There's big breakdowns, because I think this is so obvious and she doesn't. And she thinks this is so obvious and I can't understand at all how she got this conclusion. And I ask her and she can't explain it to me. And it never comes to any conclusion. So there's a lot to learn. And maybe the first thing is to learn that we don't understand all aspects, that like she or somebody else can have something really clear to them and others won't understand. And I can have things that are very clear to me and others won't understand. Communication is key. These connections, like here, me being able to listen to Kyle and think of about 100 questions while he was talking. Now I've forgotten almost all of them, but I want to drill down and understand more about his experiences as he's telling the story. There's a lot for us to learn, and to me, it's balance. And I apologize, I don't know what to talk about as far as masculine and feminine.
It's okay, because that's what we are here for. That's why we have every week.
Good.
That's why I had the feeling that, I need to ask this question. Not everybody know, better hear it. But actually, what is it? So yeah. So thank you for Carl really talking about the experience that sparked you wanted to ask question. I want to bring into the grass. Small, big, medium, long, really wild.
Master.
Yeah, master. So I don't really want to put the master or you're the beginner, you're the middle, or you can many head, but just look at this grass first. The grass. Every day you put water, right? The water, the grass keep getting growing. And so, oh no, it might be bad. Mowing it, and then all flat. But think about it, they grow back. They grow even stronger, greener. And hey, so what flower too, growing on the other side. They're like orange color. The white colors flowers, they're like wallflowers. So polarity. So I just say mother, father, up, down, students, teachers, yin and yang, female, masculinity, femininity. These are all polarity. Polarity for me is good because so we can see it at first. So to be able to visible, like I'm bringing into like masculinity and femininity, so we can see, we can witness ourselves first. We don't really worry about other people first. But masculinity is action orientated, doing, solve problem. You know all of that. Or the man, or more to the man, like not behavior, maybe behavior, attitude, whatever you call that. Let's say result orientated, outcome. And when we all have that, not only men, women as well. I want to get there. Climb ladders is a common thing, right? When you in corporate world, this is what it is. Because we want to be, you said I want to be balanced. When women's not in balance in corporate world, they want to do more. Because he can be there, I can be there too. So she said, if I don't work more, I'm becoming imbalanced because he can come there. I wanted to be together too. So that is actually become imbalance in the woman's body because our body don't work like that. So yeah. So now going to femininity. So femininity is rest, lean back, more intuition, feeling. I feel. You don't talk to your boss that, oh, I feel. My boss said you don't feel. You think. Use this one. It's masculine. I think it is good. But when you go to spiritual world, there's always I feel. I haven't heard anything about I think yet. So yeah. So that is the wording of masculine wording and the receptive wording. Because when we're using different words, we feel different. So when we talk about lean in is masculine. You lean into that problem and then you work on that. Isn't it that masculine feeling to you? What's the feminine side of it is receptive. You lean back. When you lean back, this one drops. When this one drops, shoulder drop, your front open. When your front open, we receive. And that is how you will know that nothing blocks you. Instead of, I lean in like this, I'm doing it, what is the problem? You're like hovering. Why not you lean back and relax a bit? And you unblock. And then if you have problem issues, and you will receive the answers. So yeah, that is the femininity way. More intuition, more openness. So yeah, that is, if we wanted to use word and body embodiment to do it. So we're talking about a lot of like wounded. I'm now going into the wounded masculine and then wounded feminine. So wounded masculine would be like pushing. You are already very tired. Everybody will have that tired moment. I'm not talking about female and male. There's no gender here, okay? You're super tired. I have project due in 24 hours. I still need to do, even though I'm sick. Nose, coughing, you still have to do because I have deadline. I need to do this. Otherwise, I will not have bonus. Yeah. And you still have to achieve that. So do you achieve the same amount of energy with the sickness? Think about that. Maybe you override it. I know that I have that. My iron was so low, and my doctor said you should be lying on the floor. But I feel so energetic because I was not aware about my body. So once I'm aware, so like, oh, okay, let me listen to it and feel about it. Every 3 p.m., my face color zoom down, become no color, grayish, pale. And I have to wear super red lipstick so that I look fresh because I'm at work, I'm presented here. Or coffee, 3-4 coffee a day. So I awake because I drive home. Because otherwise once I said sleep. Because low iron is less energy and less oxygen. Even though I walk upstairs, I was like, really tired. I was not aware. I keep going. So yeah, even though I push the pram or baby pram, it's just a little bit of high, just walking on the street. I have to ask my son to push it. I said, I can't. I was like, oh, I extremely low iron. I have to go and do the blood test. So yeah, so that's pushing and not aware. But at least I'm aware. Whenever, even though I mop on the floor, I squat down and mop the floor, the baby chairs underneath. I stood up, my head spinning. I was like, oh, I forgot to drink my iron. Like after iron, forgot. So I had to go and do that. So all of this is that body have impacted. So yeah, of course, not a lot of people have that, but it's just like, this is my journey, my experience. So yeah, but for now, I'm okay now in a way that I eat lots of red meat because my iron is not sticking. It's like drink water, it will go. So yeah, so I constantly need to eat red meat, but I don't eat red meat all the time. So yeah, so I'm okay. So yeah, so that is the, I'm aware that I have like low, I have high. The woman's cycle. I have to understand my body. So yeah, if I don't, as a woman, on this woman body in this lifetime, yeah, woman, like I'm a woman, I have to understand it. How much my body run, my body support you. Just like Carl talking about, come back to the body. So yeah, so that is my part of sharing of masculinity and also femininity. Of course, there is more as well. Like I'll talk about wounded masculine. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the wounded femininity. Feminine. What does that look like? The sisterhood wounding, the comparison, the competition. Women's is the worst competition. So yeah, of course, that is the wounding. Everybody, all the women have that. It's come from ancestral trauma. So yeah. And also that whether they are too loud and people will talk about them. Or you say, you talk too much. I don't have time for you. I don't have time. You just shut people down. So that is the woman's wounding. The men may not have that. Maybe a little. But women's always got that. So yeah. And what else wounding? There's many wounding, but this is something that is that like in the material world, materialistic world, it's competition. Like men as well, right? And driving cars. What car you're driving means how much salary you got and how rich you are. So that is wounding. You're bringing the judgment and ego by looking, we use that lenses to judge people. A lot of people also have millionaires. They don't need to wear really beautiful clothes. It's just like thongs and pants and t-shirt. That's it. So that is like patriarchal system bringing in. So we, as a collective, as individual as well, that because we are shaped by society and because this is what we do. This is what they do. We have to follow because it's the right system, because of the system we've been shaped. But when we're conscious, we have to ask ourselves, why? Is this what you want? So that is all the questions that we started to dive down. That you said that, oh, I want to learn more. I want to know more. I'm curious. Something is not right here. When you start to become awakened and be conscious or even curious, you will find the answer. And that's how I found answer as well, dive deep. But what is this feminine about? Like when I see this feminine, it's a weakness. I don't want to be weak. I'm strong. I don't want to become like woman who's like, femininity is like crying all the time. No, I don't want to cry all the time. Right? This is like masculine woman. Just like a corset, poker face. Mask on. A lot of people have like mask on. I just have mask on too, but I try not to, but I'm doing really well now. I admit, sometimes it depends situation. If I go to do business, you can't be like, femininity coming out. You have to be masculine coming out first so that you hold yourself really strong to be able to communicate. So it's just like dancing in and out. How's that? It's we in and we out. And it's how you find your balance, when it's coming out, when it's coming back too. So yeah, for example, like if I'm creating program, I cannot think about what module 1 is, what module 2 is. You can't, because you might have that knowledge and experience that you want to create. But for me, create is relax. I create by listening what I receive. And what you've been shown. And then with that experience you have, and then you create from there. So yeah, everybody create different way. So yeah. So I said that I'm in the creativity mode, means that I'm in the receiving mode. So I'll go in nature, all the the trees, the leaf, the wind, or the elements talk to me. So that's receptive way. I'm receiving mode. So yeah. And then you have the whole download without doing anything, and just be and play, have fun, creativity come. So that is my share. So yeah, I hope that is just a little bit of tips, but that is just my experience that I'm sharing here. So yeah, I've been there of myself, and I can share that what worked best, and also retain my energy and not leaking, like don't know where I'm leaking to. So yeah. How's that sounds, Richard? Put you on the spot today.
Does that sound? Yeah. Yep. Your experiences are going to be certainly different than many of us, and certainly the same in some areas. As you were mentioning, everybody creates differently. Absolutely. Some create through force. I think it's a much more lonely journey. We're kind of on our own when we create by force. We can do it. We have the power to create by using a lot of pressure, by using resistance. We can create. Life does work that way quite often. We have to put energy into growth and change and creation. And often it is receptive. It's imagination. It's moving through ideas, moving through understanding, moving through awareness. And creation then forms around the patterns through the energy. And that works too. we create negative at the same time by, sorry, I'm going to say probably touchy words, but by laziness, by selfishness.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We create negatively, we can destroy, which is also a creation. And so, yeah, there's lots of different kinds of creation and what we create. I think that that's one thing about life. Things that probably are not alive, I guess I'm just, and I don't know, I'm not going to assign life or not, but when I look at, things that I consider non-living, let's say a rock, and you might say, well, a rock has a spirit, and okay, there's energy, but I don't see a lot of motion in a rock. There's potential motion. Well, okay, maybe I'm going down a hole here, but I see everything that's alive seems to be creating, right? And the fruits of your labors, what's the right wording here? The result of what we do,
Harvesting.
Right, that we act, we live, we do, we breathe, there's this motion, there's this flow. With that, in whatever direction it is, positive or negative or whatever we do, there's motion, right? There's a result, and that result kind of helps define. It's kind of like a signature. It's like your fingerprint, right? It's the way that some people are fast and they're efficient, and they're just, the result is of their habits of creating a lifestyle. They're fast. They just know how to do certain things very well, and it may be positive or destructive. And other people are slow and they just go along, and there's no motion, and I kind of compare it more to being just a rock, or a piece of wood just kind of floating on the water, and we're just kind of there, and the result is nothing. Very little. There's not much life there. There's just being, and so I think that's the beauty of being alive, is we have the opportunity to choose to move and create. And
I'll let you bring into that. I'm gonna bring into a different perspective to you.
Yep, go. Yes.
For those like a rock, like a water, that flow peacefully, they find in within the peace in their heart and calmness. They can feel every single inch of the wind that kissing on their cheek. And breathe deeply in their body. And those people who are like very fast, they achieve a lot, yes, but they tend to become not feeling. I'm not saying a lot of people like that, but I know that when someone in the fast pace, they love even faster. And then when they're faster, they will do faster times 10, because it's like excitement. You love that. I was there. I know the sparks of that and the success of that. It's just like similar than the people who actually do a meditation, and then they go really deep into like delta, whatever they call wave, whatever. But I know that when you are so quiet, you hear as well. And you like, when you hear it, your eye have that brightness. Your smile is that brightness of that gleam, like magnetic probably, or like happiness on your face. When people look at you, the fast-paced one, sometimes it's just like, yes, I have many money. I love money. I have like, because, but inside is really dry.
There's the balance, right?
Of course.
Because some people need to learn how to go fast. They need to learn to implement. They spend their time thinking and planning and never doing, and they need to practice implementing.
It's the muscle.
But
Practice
if you
of that
go,
muscle.
go all the time, you tend to not take the time to plan and to prepare and to listen and to become aware, to learn. Now you can learn by doing and seeing what the result is and then re-implement these results. And people get really good at that, and that's beautiful. But sometimes they don't know why they're spinning their wheels so quickly.
Yeah, so the parents go reverse cycle. Parents, and it's so hard to meditate. It's so hard to come down. Am I not doing anything today? Something missing. I need to do something. I need to do something. Otherwise, disappeared. And while you reparent yourself, you're peeling off, because when you become slower, things come up to you, feel, and you look at that area, and you are like, I don't understand what's happening here. And then when you become more quiet, there's healing starting. Healing starting means inner work starting. That's healing starting. And then when you're doing that work, right, quiet, and then if you think that this person in this healing mode will going back to that area of that really fast smash area, like I want to do more. I feel my life is better in between balance. Enoughness. Because of that, thriving is not enough. It's never be enough. That's why it's just like, you train myself like a treadmill running. I want to faster today because I want to sweat more. I want to slim more. And treadmill. Oh my God. And then guess what? Go home, you eat more. So sort of like synergy. Oh yeah. I give you these. It doesn't mean that what is right. It's just sort of like the balance that we see, right? Like, yes, everybody do have their own lifestyle, but I know that when people slowing down, they're not the pressures of slowing down. The pressures have more time to do something else, to do things they like. And then you started to question yourself, why am I doing that last time? I'm not going to do that anymore. And now I'm going to show people how to do it. And then you create program. You started to talk. And also that, who are God? Source, creator. We're here to create. We're here to becoming a creator ourselves to serve the world. I think I'm complete now. So I saw Kyle holding up the hand. You wanted to share, Kyle?
Yes, I want to bring an example for me with these pumpkins. So to me, so the white pumpkin to me is the feminine, and the orange pumpkin is the masculine. So yes, so most of my life, so I see like the feminine as like the moon, the stars, all things that are like delicate, and like I see her as like, yeah, just so precious, and but yet so strong, you know, like strong in the emotions, like letting those emotions to flow. And I've been here like all my life, like with this pumpkin, and like with the white of the pumpkin. And it's been so beautiful. Like I love this feeling so much that I felt safe with this pumpkin. Like with the white, and just, yeah, just like looking at the pumpkin, it's like that softness, that sweetness, the gentleness. And then like to me, it's like the masculine. It's like the sun. And it's like the pillar, like a tree. And it's just like this energy is like new to me, like as in embodying it within my being, that newness of it. And it was like the feminine energy within me. It was like anytime I was around like more intense like masculine energy, it was like this clash. It's because like being so sensitive and an empath too as well, it's just I feel everything. So it's like with the feminine, I could feel like she could feel me, and it was just the connection was much easier to make. Whereas I wanted that supportive masculine in my life, like as like now you have arrived in my life, Richard, and it's that perfect sacred mirror I feel of what I've been wanting to like manifest and to experience that more nurturing masculine, whereas the masculine in my life has been angry, temper, rage, and not connecting with me. So I'm just going to be just completely honest. So yeah, like once not knowing my father, when I grew up, like, cause he passed when I was 3, I didn't have those experiences that I needed to like teach me how to do things, how to fix things, how to like just do everything. I didn't have that. Like I had the feminine, and I was holding the feminine's hand and it was home to me. Whereas like, it was like the masculine, there was nothing there. So it was like, I felt empty. So then my mom got remarried, and my stepdad didn't have the greatest communication skills. And he hardly talked to me. He was just focusing on himself a lot. And he was tired, he provided for the family as well, as did my mom, but he was like that anchor in our family to just keep us safe in a way, because his energy was so strong, and his energy, he was just like a bigger man. So it was just, you just felt safe. And that's what I felt that he was in my life, just to feel safe, that I was like safe in my home, that like he was that protector, that he would put his life on the line to help us. So it was like I was able to rest a little bit easier. Because when my first father passed, I felt this, my mom was doing so much that it was like that protector in the house. Like I didn't feel that, like having a father to protect us. So as a child, I kind of took that upon myself. Like around 6, I'm like, I was checking into everyone's emotions, making sure everyone's okay. I didn't want my mom to be upset. And I honestly felt like I couldn't really be a child now, because I felt like I had to step up. But this was my own story that I put on myself and my own projection, as in thinking that was my job to do. So with my dad not really doing stuff with me and talking, that I was basically in the same boat as I was growing up. So this is like what I knew, and this is all that I knew. And it was like the masculine, it was just constantly seeming, in my perspective, was constantly letting me down. So then I just kind of just disassociated from like like having guy friends, like masculine energy around me, and I just kind of wrote it off. I'm just like, I don't need the masculine in my life. What for? Like it didn't serve a purpose for me. So yeah, so now it was like the last 2 years I've been really focusing on like my mother wounds and my father wounds, like that wounding. So I just do a little bit of like mother like healing and then father healing. So it was stirring those emotions both at the same time. And then when I got too emotional, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna focus more on my father healing, like the father wounds. And then when it was getting like really like intense, just like, yeah, I'm like, okay, I need to bring in more of the feminine. So now with Sacred Heart Valley, it's like this blending and merging of the two. It's like the feminine is like supporting me as like, well, look like as like a man, like in a man's body, right? Supporting me to lift me up. So we meet each other at the same level. And then now it's like the feminine, like within the Sacred Heart Valley, like the feminine beings are feeling that connection and they're leaning more on me. So then we both rise and we both lean on each other. And then there's like that balance that happens with that connection. And with the connection with the hearts has always been prominent. It's always been about the heart for me. And my whole journey has been wanting that heart connection of people just fully understanding my heart and feeling my heart. And then now it's like these two pumpkins come aligned in. And then now my heart is like fully feeling, and I feel the most whole and complete as one. And it's just like this balance now that I can just like tune into my intuitive side and my creative side and my receiving side from that inspiration and taking action on creating. And then allowing myself to share with that masculine energy, being fearless in like my creations and speaking my voice and finding my voice again. So it's like I fully like am rising, and there's still so much to heal and to learn and grow. Like we're always learning and growing, but now I feel like I finally have that support, like that strong solid foundation that now is just like together as one. Like nothing can separate it. It's just moves in the same in all direction, and that it just flows. So that's like where I am right now, and just knowing that this connection with the feminine energy within and on the outside of me through physical form within like the females in Sacred Heart Valley, as they do have the masculine in too, but it's like that sacred mirror that like it's inseparable now. Like nothing can pull it apart. So yeah, it just brings everything into alignment. That's my sharing. Thank you.
I want to welcome, thank you, Kyle, for sharing that. I think that is actually the first time I actually see someone explained like masculine and feminine in this way. And it just see from visual is really something. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, normally when we explain, there's a lot of energies that we explain, right? But now the visual, we can remember that the pumpkin. Why and not orange pumpkin? Oh. And I want to welcome as well Norma. In the group. So I know that Rosa, would you like to share something about? I know that Norma come a little bit later. I'll probably Rosa can step in, and then Heidi if you wanted to. So yeah, see how the experience or whether there's any experience or what your observation or perspective is all count. So yeah, welcome to share. Yeah.
Well, I really love that interaction that you guys had. Very respectful, I could tell that you guys are talking from the bottom of your heart. And one thing that I really liked was that you guys are not judgmental at all. Like everybody feels free to share whatever comes to mind and heart, and without the fear of being judged. So I love that.
Thank you, Rosa. Do you have any sort of question for you is, what is your perspective of femininity? Because I know that you do a lot of women's circles in your healing center.
Okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah, you have like, it's a women's circle and also for the men's circle as well, right? The men's group, let's say,
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah. So what is your observation there? Would you like to share? Because this is your physical group. It's not really online yet, but physical. I love to hear that perspective.
Yes, one thing that I have noticed is that females are more, I guess, open to spirituality. They always seek, what's out there for them to feel better, and they participate, and they're always eager to, like, whenever we're gonna have an event and we send a text letting them know that we're gonna have an event, they're eager to come, and they participate well. And I see, how they have changed, because we still have contact with a lot of the women that they have come to the events. And I see the difference. Even their energy looks different and they seem happier. And one time we had this event for males. We were hoping, because we have had, some males stating that they were going to come. But at the end of the day, only 2 came. But I think it was meant for them to be present only, because it was very powerful. Men, I thought they were going to be intimidated, because there were three of us running the group and two males. But it was a really beautiful balance. The males were open, and I could tell that one of them was like in shock, like, because when I started like talking about how I view the male figure, I feel that he grew up in a very macho world, where he was not able to express his feelings and emotions. But in the group, he was able to open up, and he said that was the first time that he felt that way. So that was really, really nice.
Yeah, it's just like the males, just like what Carl shared before, is to be seen, to be heard, and to be witnessed, and also honored. They are there.
Yeah. I remember that time, because they were like with their head down, just like listening. So when I started talking, because I connect my heart with their heart, and I know it wasn't me. I was just, divinity was talking through me. And I just started saying this and that, and, how I view the male figure and this and that. And I could tell, like, the way they, their heads were down, and all of a sudden I could see their faces, and it was like a beautiful light coming through their, through their crown chakra. It was a big difference. So that was very powerful and beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful that you're running a men's circle, because not a lot of men physically connect in this kind of like healing circle. So we're calling in more men to coming in, because they have to accept. They have to accept themselves that need healing. We cannot push them to, right, Rosa? It's just they have to be aware and accept themselves first, and then they will open and allow them healing they allow them to receive the healing. Because if we are not allowing ourselves to receive, we won't be able to receive fully. Mm. So this is a breakthrough for the collective of the men.
Yes.
Mm. So slowly we'll see a lot of men coming in. They'll are manifested. They'll do a lot, calling in a lot of men come and see receive healing as well. So of course the word healing and trauma, people scared about those words. And also circle. So why circle? I'm not a woman. You know, this kind of perspective. So yeah, but it's education because there is lack of education outside of what is that really means. So we are spreading the word by not, we're doing a lot of online because online we can reach a lot more people, but you are doing physical center. I felt that is really powerful one because you're holding that beautiful space in the center so that you can, like a temple, let's say, you can transmute the energy in the center and then walk out different feeling and walk up taller too. So
Yeah.
because they're being heard as Rosa, hear me. I feel so good. I feel nurtured. I want to come back again. So yeah, that's where the repeating, there's that repeating is that coming back again and again. So you actually light the fire within. So beautiful.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for doing the work, Rosa.
Thank you. I love what we do.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I know that Heidi and Norma is team members. They're all work in the team as a team in the physical center because I just met them just now. So they're all really beautiful in working as a team and they do a lot of healing for men, women, and children too. So beautiful work. Keep doing what you guys are doing. So needed. So I'm just looking at the time, conscious of the time. It's 1:00. So yeah. Is there anything else that you wanted to share? Anything else? It's very open because we did share about, incorporate to the life, masculine, feminine, and then how to bring into healing. I mean, that comparison is so good. So yeah.
I guess I wanted to share just a little bit because of what I've been hearing from Kyle and Richard.
Yeah.
When Kyle mentioned how he felt about the male energy, male role in his life, I actually identified with that. So growing up, our father was there, but he wasn't really there, like that. His energy as the male figure wasn't really there for us. So I'm going to speak for myself. I grew up in a very masculine way. So as I grew up, because we would work in the fields, and it's like it was a tough upbringing, especially for girls, and majority of us, of the siblings are girls. So I think for me, the hardest thing has been finding that balance between the masculine and the feminine in me. And just because of what I've been hearing, I'm like, oh, it's just clicking. Like the first time I ever wore makeup was after high school type of thing. I started being more feminine physically after high school. And then I actually became a mom later in life. I was 27 when I first had, my first child. And just thinking back, I think it was just really hard. It was really hard for me to be pregnant and go through the whole pregnancy. Labor and giving birth was the easy part for me. And I couldn't understand why. And now that we're talking about these things, I'm like, oh, maybe that's why it was so hard for me, because pregnancy was trying to get me into that balance that I needed. So that's what just clicked for me right now when I was hearing everybody talk about, their masculine and female balance.
Thank you, Heidi, for your vulnerability share. And I can resonate that as well. I had my first babies also on 27. I was pushing because I have people put an expectation on me to have kids. And at the end, I gave up because I tried, nothing happening. And coming into pregnancy, it was easy. And the labor also easy. And for you that I could see in is when you're pregnant, you only realize that we are in this female body. And you were feeling like, do I know this body? It become not, when you're pregnant, your body is not yours. And after labor, your body become like, okay, that's it, cover up. Nothing's happening to my body, just cover up. Because there's lots of different things, whatever that if your labor is cesarean or nature, you just have to cover up because of stretch mark, all of that. And then life go on. And then when you become mom, it's masculine in the front because you need to meet your kids. You need to meet everything in your life. So yeah, that is also where I break down and I have the third one unexpectedly and it putting a stop on me. So yeah, 3 years ago, stop what you're doing, look carefully. I'll probably have already received the sign, but I did not know because I'm blind. I keep going. So yeah. So that is that's why I when you saying I get a flashback of 27. Yeah. Because I married when I was 21. And then of course my grandma said that, what happened to you? You can't grow egg? Grow egg. So expectation, both sides, and so stressed. And nothing happened until 27. So yeah, it was a long period of time. So yeah. So thank you, Heidi, for bringing that.
Thank you. I was just going to mention that I felt the same way that Kyle mentions, why do I need the male, energy, in my life? I'm actually a single mom. And so sometimes I feel that way, because I have to make sure that my kids have everything, that I work, that I provide. And sometimes I'm just like angry at the male energy. I'm like, why do I need a male figure in my life? Why? And so that made me remember, and everything just clicked. So, thank you.
Sending so much love to you, Heidi. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have anything more to share, Kyle, before we come into the completion?
No, I'm good. I'm just processing. I really acknowledge you and witness you, Heidi. Yeah, I haven't met anyone yet that's like I'm just feeling this connection, Heidi. And I just acknowledge like any pain that you may feel. Yeah, I fully understand. And just holding you, just in my heart. So much love to you. And thank you everyone for being here. And thank you, Norma, Rosa, Lillian, and Richard, and everyone who's watching the replay and who's with us in spirit. And yeah, it's just, it can be, when we connect heart to heart, it can be triggering. It can stir up a lot of things, as it's stirring up a lot of things for me too. But when you're able to be in this, like a sacred, safe container, like what we have here, with the support of Lillian, the creatrix of the Sacred Heart Valley, and all the support that's within, we're able to just allow our hearts to just soften more, and our hearts just melt a little bit more, and we just feel a little bit more, and remember just a little bit more. And it all comes together in that beautiful harmony and that balance. And we just feel that wholeness, that we're held, seen, acknowledged, heard, felt, and loved. And it's also healing for us, but also healing for our family and the lineage and our ancestors and any of our loved ones. It's just us fully acknowledging all those feelings and just allowing ourselves to just be with them and not to suppress anything. So just so much gratitude for all of our circles and our connects. And it's truly amazing and remarkable that we're able to do this from all parts of the world, and just to reunite with our soul family. It just brings the greatest fulfillment. Just very grateful, thankful, and blessed. And thank you, Lillian.
Thank you for everybody sharing today, as in heart to heart. And thank you for going deep with everybody as well. And I intend to do this a lot more, because a lot of times that we are in our own little world, there's a lot more to share, has so little time. So this is like the space, a loving, nurturing space for us to drop everything at the moment, for us to feel more, lean back a little bit more, get to feel our heart a little bit more. And I am very grateful to be here to hold the space for all of you. And also when you watch the replay as well and watch live on Facebook. Every single moment will become history. Every single second will become a history. So I also healing my own self as well, constantly. Just like Carl say, we heal ourselves. We heal the future too. Future, like the line, the ancestral line, and your future children. And we are the future ancestors, as we are doing the work now. We are healing the future too. So that is my message for everybody today. Heart-to-heart connection is really easy to say. But when we share, just like Carl said, everything will stir. And I have no intention to stir that part of you up. It is at this moment that when you open your heart just a little bit, what is needed to come up for you to see and for us to witness you. There's nothing to do. By expressing, by using our voice, which is express the feeling, it is saying the truth. And activate our own throat chakra as well. And our heart chakras. And all part of that, because when we hear our heart, we hear our womb space. And deep breathe into that space. Whatever the need to come up will come up. And we say, thank you. I see you. I honor you. I forgive you. And I love you. So in this space, I'm going to close the circle. So bring into a loving space today that thanks yourself. Thank ourselves to present here. To connect heart to heart, soul to soul. Thank you. The circle is now closed with a deep, quiet stillness. I'll see you guys next week. Bye for now.